Why don't you talk to us about reasons why we may be headed for a soft landing, which I think, are, hey, we're feeling these good effects, right? Like mortgage rates seem to be going down, things are still going good, it feels pretty good. So why it could be happening, and then maybe why it would not be happening.
Yeah, these surveys are great, but I love tracking them year over year because the smartest people in the room, the smartest people in the economy completely change their opinion in a relatively short period of time. So I think the surveys are good to talk about, but we need to go one step farther and we need to actually look at the data,
Okay.
right? We have the benefit of looking at data and to see how in times of high inflation, how has the Fed navigated that? What is their success rate with a soft landing? And then what is the data showing us, both on the positive side and on the negative side? So it very well may be a not so fast, my friends, type of moment, but let's let the data guide us. So just to put it in perspective, there have been 5 times since 1970 to 2008. Yep, there have been 5 periods where inflation reached 5% or higher. In each of these, and again, inflation reached 9.1% for us this time. That was the high in 2022. There have been 5 other times from 1970 to 2008 that inflation reached at least 5%. In each of those 5 times, we have gone into recession.
Okay.
From 1970 to 2008, we have gone into recession each and every time. So the chances of a soft landing are relatively small. And I think that is the backdrop of how we need to go into a soft landing. It is not a foregone conclusion. It's actually very rare. And so it's a little bit like threading a needle. So as we're sharing some of the good things that we're seeing, as well as some of the potential landmines that we have as far as an economy, let's have the backdrop that this is not the norm. It would be an incredible feat if the Fed can bring this soft landing to fruition.
Got it. So this is like hitting a home run.
This is.
You might be a great hitter.
Grand slam, let's call it.
Let's call this
It's
a
grand
slam.
slam.
This is a great hitter. Could be Barry Bonds at the peak of his steroid usage. And even he doesn't hit a home run every single time.
Yeah, that's kind of like where we were from an economy in June and 2022 with 9.1% inflation. We were juiced.
Yeah, totally. All right, so tell me about it, then, Gene.
Yeah, so I look at it from both sides. On the positive side, why economists have really changed their tune. It's funny, I looked at these surveys in the beginning of 2023 to the end of 2023, and it was nearly unanimous in the beginning of 2023 that every smart person in the room said we were going to have a recession in 2023. Absolutely. Now they've really changed their tune, and the majority actually feel like there's a lower than average chance of a recession.
Okay.
But this isn't unique for me to see the pendulum swing one side or the other to the other side. We've seen this over and over and over in our show, and we've kind of called that out in different factors of the economy. So I don't know if this soft landing is going to happen, but I can see great data to support it on both sides. So I'll share it with you. So on the positive side, we have seen inflation come down dramatically, more dramatically than I think we all expected in a short period of time.
True.
Which is great to see. Again, we were at over 9%, and we've dropped that in the course of a year and a half. We've dropped that down to 3.4%, and that's really helping our economy, really helping families, and especially those who are in the most need out there. While we've done that, though, the reason why people are feeling more confident about this soft landing is that our labor market has shown signs of resiliency. We are still pumping out net new jobs added each and every month as an economy.
Okay.
So normally when you drop inflation, like we just talked about there, the way that you do that is jobs get cut. And people are unemployed. We are still adding a significant number of new jobs as an economy. So that's why the economists are saying, man, we've done such a good job with inflation. Our labor market is still resilient. Maybe this soft landing is a thing. Maybe we can do this. Here's some other things that did you want to jump in there?
No, give me all the positives, and then I want to poke around.
So some other things that you may or may not have thought of, those 2 things are relatively out there and people are paying attention to. Here's one that you might not have been paying attention to. GDP reports different types of sectors of growth. Gross domestic product is GDP. It's the measure of goods and services that we sell as a country. And it produces reports on different sectors. And one of the sectors that is showing healthy growth is the business investment sector. So businesses are continuing to make investments at a healthy rate, much higher than what people are expecting. And that is insight into the minds of businesses. They are healthy. If they're healthy, they're thinking, okay, I can make some bigger bets.
They're seeing opportunities out there.
They're seeing opportunities
they're
out
seeing
there.
a better future than their past if they make a couple of moves.
It's an outlook for like a better near future is the way people look at it.
That makes sense.
So that's a positive sign why the soft landing may happen. And then just simply the Fed has come pretty strong and signaled that it is at the end of its rate hike cycle. And it's important to know that not only do things happen when the Fed stops raising rates or raises rates or lowers rates, all those things have an effect on the economy. But what actually happens is as soon as the Fed signals that it's stopping raising rates, generally the outlook improves for everybody. So that signaling has had effects on the economy. It's one of the reasons that interest rates for our product of turnkey rental properties on your mortgages, they've all come down. And it's a result of that Fed signaling the end of the rate hike cycle. So that's on the positive side.
Got it. So 4 positives, 4 reasons to think that we are headed to a soft landing. Number 1 is inflation has greatly been tapered down, right? Like when we were thinking double-digit inflation, we're now back at a much more rational, like much more reasonable 3-point-something%. 2, jobs continue to increase, right? Like there continues to be new jobs entering the market, meaning unemployment hasn't really gone crazy. 3 is businesses are investing. So that is, as a business owner, I'm investing in something if I think that my cash flow is going to increase to pay off this investment, because at the end of the day, business is a game of like cash flow in, cash flow out to keep the lights on, right?
Amen, brother.
So they can't be thinking too far down the line. They got to be thinking medium, short to be doing these investments that are going to be able to pay off. And then number 4 is the Fed has signaled that they are done with interest rates hike for a while, which, as we know, as soon as interest rates start going down, properties go up real fast, people start buying, pensive demand happens, but just the perception of interest rates are not going to continue to go up has people feeling pretty good about themselves and already acting like, this is a foregone conclusion. I can, if I move early, there's some advantages here.
Absolutely.
Like yourself,
Exactly, brother.